Yeah. Again, I just listen to Nate, our trainer, with all these guys, and he just updates me one day at a time. And with where we're at, I think that's the best way to go about it.
Sean, how would you see Mahomes' game evolve over the years?
Well, I think he's always been, elite. And I mean, he just continues to get better and better. And, he's won multiple championships now, and certainly have a ton of respect for his game and the way he leads that football team.
Sean, you always say every game is the same. It's the Chiefs. I mean, I know the outside certainly is making it bigger than just a normal game. Is there any part of you that would maybe find it a benefit to look at this as an elevated sort of regular season affair?
Yeah, I think, more than anything, we focus on what we focus on, and our controls are our things that we can control. Like, we don't focus on things we can't control. We certainly understand the situation and respect it. Two good teams. And the most important thing we can be is consistent with our preparation, and that's really the main thing that's within our control. And having this practice today, which is a Wednesday for us.
Would there be significance though beating a 9-0 team?
I'm sorry?
Would there be any significance beating a 9-0 team? What might that be?
We get to our 9th win. Quite honestly, that's what we're focused on, is trying to play our best ball, trying to, even before that, is prepare the way we need to prepare. And, because if you don't do that, you got no chance against a team like this in particular. So we're just trying to control the things we can. And, the big thing that's within our control is our preparation and getting the rest we need to get, and getting the nutrition we need to have this week as these guys go into the game. And, we're looking forward to it. It's a big challenge, but we're looking forward to it.
The Chiefs have shown a lot this season, the ability to stay in games even when they're trailing and come back late. What kind of challenge is that, knowing you're going against a team that's had a lot of success this season coming back late?
Yeah, I mean, they've got a tremendous amount of poise. I think I mentioned this on Monday's call. Tremendous amount of poise, composure. They've been, to where many teams are trying to get to multiple times now. So I'm sure that's where some of the composure and poise comes from. And then this year, with winning the ways that they've been able to win, coming from behind, having a lead and then opening up the lead. So they've won just about every way you could win.
John, their run defense has been outstanding all year. Can you pinpoint exactly what's happening, why teams can't run against the Chiefs?
They do a lot. Coach Spags does a great job along with their defensive staff. I know quite a few of those guys, and they do such a great job. They've certainly got good personnel, and they create a lot of chaos around the line of scrimmage by some of the things that they do. And then obviously Chris Jones is a big force up front for what they're trying to get done.
Sean, I know you coaches and players don't take it for granted when a field goal or extra point happens. I think a lot of fans might, but when you see a play like last week to end the game and how they went after, does that put a little more attention to detail to show your film room and, hey, this is how important these plays are in a game?
Yeah, I mean, you see us practice it. I'm sure every team's like us. You practice it out there, and sometimes people look at it as a break in between, team periods, right? And the amount of detail, the amount of urgency that needs to be present in those moments is huge, as you're discussing. So that was a huge play, obviously, in the game, and it's something that we can learn from as well, and be reminded of that. If you don't take it seriously, you're not urgent, you're not focused on being where your feet are on a Wednesday afternoon, it'll show up on. I'm not saying that's the reason for them, but I'm just saying overall, even fundamentals, making sure we're doing things right fundamentally in practice, because it carries over to the game.
Have you caught any of Andy's commercials? He's using words like googly and swiping Patrick Mahomes' nuggies and chicken nuggets.
I've seen a few of them. I think, John, what do you want me to say about them?
Just, knowing him and to see him show
Yeah.
his personality, I'm sure behind the scenes he's that way, but
Yeah.
for him to show his personality publicly like that, what do you make of it, having known him?
Well, for so long, I think people, the public, the outside public, only saw one side of him, to your point, where when you work with him like I did for 12 plus years, you get a chance to see the real personality, as you mentioned. So I think it's good to see after all the years and the success that he's had, have the success that he's had, number one, because he's worked extremely hard to get there. And he's made a lot of sacrifices, just like we all have. But it's fun to see his true personality come out for the whole public to see.
And on a more, just as a follow-up, on a more serious note, after all the time you've gotten to know Andy after all these years, what's it like to be in the position of knowing that one of your mentors has kind of stood in your way of achieving an ultimate goal over these, while you've been here in Buffalo?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great coach. He'll be a Hall of Fame coach. He already is, really, even though he's not retired yet. But listen, there's always somebody that you're trying to get past, right, to accomplish the goal that you want to accomplish. So I don't care what walk of life you're in or what sport you're in or whatever it is. There's always a challenge in front of you. It's just who that challenge is. And this week for us, it's the Kansas City Chiefs.
Sean, what do you need to see? Back-all of the states big plays for you recently. Over these 9 games, what have you learned about him what have you learned about him as a player?
Yeah, good player. I mean, whatever his role, whatever he's asked to do, Mac embraces it and gives it his all, which I have a ton of respect for and admiration for. It's you don't see that all the time, right? Whether he's the first wide receiver, X wide receiver, special teams, you name it, he's going to put everything he's got into it. So, again, the amount of appreciation, the amount of respect that I have, that his teammates have for him, is because of that's how he handles his business every day. And that consistency, as we talk about consistency, develops trust and respect.
Sean, what do you need to see from Matt? I know he's not going to play Sunday. Did you open this window here to make sure that he's on track and can eventually get back on?
Well, I mean, you talk about a guy that's been on a journey, right? 2 years now of going through what he's gone through, and it's just amazing to watch his resilient nature, right? He's so resilient. He's persistent. He's got a goal, and he's worked his butt off to get back to where he's at. And so this will be the first, practice he's had in quite some time. And I mean, I don't even know, right? And I know him rather well. I don't even know what really he's been through over the last 2 years. And so I think that just speaks to the type of person he is, how driven he is, and trying to pursue the goals that he has as an individual and for us as a team as well. I mean, he's as much of a team player as we have. So just a great guy to have on board here.
Sean,
Can his presence alone provide spark for your team? Just knowing that, like, hey, that guy, that caliber is getting close.
Yeah, I mean, it's also why, this year has been a little bit different than last year. When he had the injury last year, he wasn't really able to be, he was around, but just not as much as this year. And that influence daily has been, to me, good for us, good for the linebacker room, and maybe good for Matt, too, and his mental health, so as he's worked his way back. So I think it's been beneficial for everyone.
Sean, one of the things with them, they stay on the field on offense.
Yeah.
They're good on third down. They're methodical. How do you, as a defense, get them off the field? I mean, 'cause they've had so
I think that's the
many long
question.
drives
I think that's the
all year.
question everyone's trying to solve, but hasn't been able to. They're just really good, Sal. I mean, I'm not going to get into strategy here, but it's a hard code to crack, as everyone knows. All the teams that they've played to this point, the teams that they played last year in the playoffs, us being one of them, they're extremely well coached. They adjust through the course of a game. They execute at a high level. Again, you can only control so much, right? We can't control what they do or don't do, but we got to focus on making sure that we're ready to play, and that starts with, if it didn't already start by today, then it starts with today and the urgency we have to have today.
Sean, you played them. Okay.
Thanks. When you talk about the mentality of treating this just like it's the next game coming up, I know that starts with coaches, but for Josh Allen, who's been in so many of these matchups, how do you see him embrace that mindset?
Well, I think he leads by example with that, and I think that more than anything, I think players, athletes crave that too. Just some form of normalcy. They don't live, quote unquote, sometimes normal lives, and so that normalcy is sometimes welcomed day in and day out. So that's how we do it here. Everyone's different, but we've, really since day one this year, we've started with a certain mindset that we feel like is powerful for us, and the important thing now is to stay consistent with it.
Sean, the last time you played them, you didn't have Terrell Bernard. Can you talk about, and we know his importance to your defense, but what he's fought through this year with injuries and staying on the field and the importance and having him out this week and on the field again against this team?
No, last year in the playoff, if I remember correctly, he was close to playing, and I think, it was one of those deals, TB, he wears his heart on his sleeve and he plays with his heart. He was pretty emotional about not being able to play, not being able to be out there with his teammates. And so it's always good to have him out there, number one. I'll start there. But two is, it's a new experience when you have him play. He's played against the Chiefs, but not multiple times like some. So, but it's good to have him out there. He's a big-time leader for us on our team, on our defense for certain, and he's just like a quarterback on the field for us.
The addition of Hopkins to their group, what challenges does he represent?
Yeah, really good player. I thought it was a smart move by them at the deadline or close to the deadline there. And the thing I know about Andy and Brett Veach is they're never going to just sit pat. They're always trying to, like we are, improve our roster and improve every way we can in our football team. So, I kind of wasn't surprised by it.
Sean, how unique is it that for this matchup, you guys know each other so well, they just added DeAndre, you guys just added Amari, to add those two talented receivers to this game, how much of an X factor is it?
I don't know. You look at it and say it's usually not about one player, but they're certainly both good players. So it does factor in. So DeAndre's certainly been a elite player, as has Amari. So we'll see if we can get Amari this week. We'll see where that goes, and it certainly adds to their offensive weaponry.
You said the other day that people like watching good quarterbacks, and in a game like this, you've got Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. What's it been like from your vantage point watching those two guys go at it?
Yeah, really fascinating to watch. When you think about the different matchups, the multiple matchups, I think I counted the other day, there's been, what is this, 7, 8, something like that? That's a little bit unusual when we're not in the same division as well. So, but sometimes, you come across interactions like that through, scheduling, but also then playoffs and things. And so I think it's been great for the league. I think it's great for the fans to be able to watch these two elite quarterbacks go at it, even though they're not really playing against each other, as everyone likes to make it out to be. And I think, and I don't know, but I feel like, they both have a ton of respect for one another in their game, right? Which is also cool to see.
Take two more, please.
There was the playoff game here last year, but first time since 2020 to have a regular season Bills Chiefs game in Orchard Park. Just what is that like, and having that, the game here as opposed to in Kansas City this year?
Yeah, you play where the schedule takes you. That's what you do. We're always thankful to be able to play at home. I feel like we've been on the road quite a bit this year to this point. You guys probably feel the same. So, but we don't take that for granted. We've got to make sure we put in our work, and at the same time, we get a chance to be in front of our fans, but our fans also travel anywhere and everywhere we go, whether it's London or last week to Indianapolis or beyond. So we're certainly grateful for that.
Sean, I know you're probably taking it one day at a time with Spencer, and I'm walking with you, sorry
Yep.
to answer this, but what's the outlook for him this week, and are you hopeful that he can practice at some point?
I am. I'm hopeful. I just don't know yet. But he's out today, and that's all I know. So what Nate does is he'll update me tonight and update us, and then we go from there. All right. Thanks, guys.